Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Today is October 24th, 2019. It's a Thursday. Thank you for tuning in. Listen, let's get started. Let's open up the charts right here. And listen, I want to officially declare to you guys on this channel. Now, I'm the first one saying this, and there's a reason why. The Fed has actually lost control. And it says here, stocks surge as the Fed panics. They're more than panicking. They've lost control at this point. They've dramatically increased the liquidity provision through the Brexit deadline. And of course, you know the Brexits are going to extend the deadline to the end of January. And the Fed's going to continue this liquidity, pumping this liquidity into the market. They've lost control. It says, many wondered what the driver of the late-day panic buying across equity markets was today. The answer is simple, the Fed again. It says, in a statement issued at 5:15 Eastern Time, the New York Fed confirmed it. It would dramatically increase both its overnight term liquidity provisions beginning tomorrow through November 14th. Dramatically increase. They've lost control. The desk has released an update on the schedule of repurchase agreements, repo operations for the current month period, consistent with the most recent FOMC, Federal Open Market Committee directive, to ensure that the supply of reserves remains ample even during periods of sharp increases in non-reserve liabilities and to mitigate the risk of money market pressures that could adversely affect policy implementation. Now, all of that this is the way they talk. They talk like in legal jargon, you know, and it's difficult for a person that's not an economist to actually understand what they're saying. Basically, what they're telling you is, we've lost control. You got it here first. The Fed's losing control over the markets. And what they're doing is their answer to losing control is just to pump massive amounts of liquidity in. And what are these guys going to do with all this liquidity that they're receiving over the overnight desk? They're going to place bets on risky assets. You know? Because now for the bankers at this point, there's no penalty. Because if they lose a bet, there's no penalty. And if they win the bet, they make all kinds of money. You know? And the Fed's got their back. Gee, what could go wrong, guys? Anyway, let's move on. Let's take a look today at the silver price. Guess what we're seeing? We're seeing a response to all of this. You see the response? It's up 21 cents, and it's shooting heavenwards. Okay, it's settling off a little bit right now. There was a spike upwards just a few minutes ago in the silver price. It was really nice. We all like it, you know. Let's have more of this, you know, as we move into the future, you know, because you know, anybody who holds silver out there, I think that as this progresses along, like a few months from now, you know, and it really starts to become obvious, not just my channel saying the Fed's lost control, but when we actually see the mainstream media saying the Fed's lost control, then the panic's going to start to begin, you know. And people at a certain point are going to start to realize that the real safe haven assets are not U.S. Treasuries. At a certain point, they're going to realize this, guys. And I hope you guys got your gold and silver when the realization dawns on them all, you know. Anyway. Silver's up today, 21 cents. Let's take a look at gold. Gold's up too, $6.20. I like to see that. You guys like to see that? Now, you know, cryptocurrency, I just got this feeling in my gut. I got a gut feeling about this that we might, and I'm not going to declare it just yet. I'm going to hold back, but I got a little bit of a gut feeling that we might have just saw Bitcoin put in a bottom. you know, and it's on its way back up again. But just starting. It's just starting. It's just turned a little bit. You can see this bottom right here. And that sure does look like a market bottom to me. You know, right there. See it? If you look at the XRP chart, you can really see it. And Bitcoin too. You can really see it. That sharp down to a bottom and then a turn back upwards. I just got a feeling about this. Maybe I'm wrong, because it's just a feeling at this point. But I feel like we might have put in a bottom in the cryptocurrency market. So we're looking at Bitcoin today at $74.93, really cheap price. I mean, at some point in the future, you might look back and say, wow, you know, at these prices right now. Right now, it's like blasé, because it's always from the future you look back and you see where it was at the bottom, you know, and how come normal guys like us, we never get to hit the bottom, we never get to buy in at the bottom? You know, we get our chances, but somehow we sleep through them. You know? That's what always happens, you know. Anyway. But I'm not sure. Maybe she'll drop some more. Could. You know, it's just a gut feeling I have that we might have just put in a bottom. That's just a gut feeling. Listen, guys, let's move on to the Dow Jones today. You know, we're seeing the Dow Jones down 39 points. That's amazing, considering that the Fed's dumping all this money in there that these guys can buy risk assets with. What are they doing, hoarding it? Spend it, guys, spend it. There's no repercussions. The Fed will back you with more. Okay. Now let's move on to oil prices today. Oil is at $56.12. Am I reading that right? 56.12. It's up 15 cents on the day. Yeah, I think I'm reading that right. Over the last 5 days, look, it's a nice little surge in the oil price. Looks like it put in a bottom just a few days ago, and we never noticed it. But the oil price is starting to surge back up again. Look at that over the last 5 days. Let's take a look at 1 month. Yeah, we can see in this chart, we can see these bottoms it made a little while ago. Now it's starting to move back up again. Slowly but surely, you know. Let's take a look at U.S. Treasuries now and see what they're doing. Now, this doesn't surprise me, you know. There's going to be a lot of money continue to move into these Treasuries as long as they're able to keep the system filled with ample liquidity. You know what? Seriously, they're trying to keep the system full of ample. The Fed is. They're dumping liquidity in like crazy. But you know what? This whole thing, when it starts to break apart, that liquidity could all disappear in the system so fast. Because of the way the system is leveraged. It's all got to do with leverage. All these money products have one net end effect. And that is to over-leverage the system. And when the system becomes over-leveraged, like it is now, completely over-leveraged, it becomes unstable. And that instability reflects in volatility. See? And this is what we're seeing. We're seeing tremendous volatility, and that volatility can erupt in transformations in the market that can happen in a matter of minutes. It's like it's the same thing. Works the same thing like a volcano. Think of the over leverage as pressure in a volcano. All that lava building up beneath the ground. So you hear rumblings in the ground. You know, that's the pressure of the lava down there, right? The volcano's getting ready to blow. And then what happens is the same thing works in the markets right now. You know? And basically, they're trying to stop a volcano from exploding. That's what the Fed's doing right now. They're losing control, and they're starting to panic, you know? And they're going to panic a lot more when it all starts to come unraveled very soon. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you, an awful lot of people don't see this coming, and this is going to take a lot of people by surprise. Let's take a look now at the U.S. dollar index today and see what it's doing. We're looking at 97.50 in the U.S. dollar index. the dollar is having a little bit of trouble now maintaining mid 97s. Wants to slip. Could that be because the Fed is just pumping dollars out there as fast as they can, and these other countries on earth, that used to buy oil with dollars, now don't buy oil with dollars anymore? The dollar is ceasing to become the petrodollar. The petrodollar is what all those years when it was called King Dollar, that's what kept it there, was a petrodollar. We're looking at the disintegration of the petrodollar, and we're looking at a money creation that's going to start running away in the United States at the same time as the petrodollar's been eroded. Its function as the petrodollar's been eroded. Can we all say hyperinflation? Coming soon. It's coming soon. Listen, you guys, thank you for listening to my show. We'll catch you again tomorrow morning with a brand new show. I'm working off of my phone now so you guys can have better audio quality until I can find a better solution, And, I find that the phone, I'm getting used to it now, and it does a pretty darn good job. Surprisingly, I think it's doing a better job than an expensive webcam. So seriously, because, some of these webcams that I've had, considering they're worth a lot more money, they don't seem to. It's all got to do with bad audio equipment in the webcam itself, bad microphones. Anyway, going to find a solution to this eventually, something that works really good so you guys can have clear audio. But until then, this phone seems to work pretty good. Bye-bye, guys.